Hey, what's up, guys? It's MetaGamesGX here, and we are doing an Edison deck profile for my Kristyasworn deck profile that I've been doing a ton of games on. I figured that maybe some of you guys wanted the deck profile. We just did the Crystal Beast Edison deck profile. I'm gonna get a modern Crystal Beast deck profile out, and then obviously we just did the combo wave here, the pendulums, and we have a few more decks. I have mainly my decks because I haven't been deck profiling recently. Like, I need to do my updated Despia, need to do my updated Blackwing, I need to do my quick draw synchro and my frog build. So we have a lot of decks coming down the line. I'm not gonna just wait until Philly or like to win some big tournament to make them. I've done a lot to them. I kind of want to get them out. So we're going to get into the Kristyasworn deck. It's 41 cards, I believe, and this is kind of a little bit standard, but like I also took a lot from the two popular builds, the one that, you know, initially topped the RBET a month ago, and Steve Silverman's build a couple months ago, rather, on the RBET, and Steve Silverman's build, which I think both builds are extremely good. I think prefer this over pure Lightsworn by far, honestly. I mean, you just get way more control, and yeah, pure Lightsworn is really good, but it really sucks when you don't have the JD. And you just like break on wolves. So I think this one gives you a bit more options because Herald's one hell of a card. And we'll start off with really some of the best cards. 3 Reiko, 3 Nimble. I've gone back and forth between running like 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, and even different ratios. However, I think this is the best that we got. I think that even though it sucks, this card can be a brick. Like, you could, like, I side this out a lot of the time, but that's why I like keeping it in the main deck at least for going first, because Nox won't be in the deck at that point, and then also, this is just, if you can set one of these cards turn 1, you're just doing well. And a lot of the times this deck has a lot of cards you can't play until like turn 2 or 3. So these cards are really good in the deck because it's just a one card, just like set up mill, set up a wall, pop a card, like, which is huge in Edison. So that's why we're keeping them at 3 and 3. I wish I had hollows. Don't judge me. We're working on the max rarity. We're gonna go on to the rest of the Lightsworns. 2 Lumina, Lila, obviously one of the best, if not the best name in the whole deck. I really should be running 3. This might be 3 in the future, especially for Philly when I run up the lad mats. Shout if you see me at Philly, come say hi. So this card's incredible. It's basically your best normal summon in the deck, but if your opponent's on monarchs or something, it really sucks. And there's like a lot of decks like that in the meta right now, including Lightsworn. So I think 2 is just fine, and then I run a heavy Storm to supplement the 3rd because I think Storm just a lot of the times just blows people out. I don't think everyone's really on Starlight Road anymore. So we're gonna get into the one-ofs. Jane, Aaron, Lumina, I think they are, and then also Shire to start the fairy package off. This one could be the 3rd, Lila. It's just nice because you can search off of charge to get a Herald target, and it's a level 3, which makes for good synchros generally in this deck. So I don't know about it right now. I just, like, if you mill this early, it's one of your best mills early because you set up Kristya and JD. It's one of your worst mills late game because it will just like fuck over your fairy count. And it's pretty bad. I mean, and it's like an okay beater actually towards the end of the game. It does come up a few times, but it's just like kind of really cuttable and sideable. And also, I just think you need to up the fairy count. So this might just be a 3rd Celestia in the future because like Celestia is one of the best cards in the deck. It's your out around like other, like Kristya obviously, and then other things of that nature. Also like mills 4 for cost, which is huge. So it's just, I might just up this to 3. It just really bricks at that point. So that's why you're like running this, which is still alive. You still can mill 2, worst case scenario. And like the worst case with this deck is when you just draw hands where you can't summon anything. So that's why that's why I tech this deck to do the least amount of that. We're just getting into the boss monsters now. This is why you run the deck, besides the really strong engine spells. and Herald. 3 Arc Lord Kristya, 3 JD. They do the best boss monsters in all of Edison. So Kristya is a walking, talking Vanity's Emptiness, obviously, and then it floats. But it's like Dad, where you need like 4 exactly, which makes it dead late game because you start milling way too much. However, with Beckoning Light, that fixes everything. So we run 2 Beckoning Light. Oh, I might even run 3. Like, that card's incredible. It makes this whole deck go round. So, and then the 2 JD, it's obligatory. I don't have to say anything. It's the best boss monster. You pop a field when you have this in hand. You set up. A lot of the time, I just Gold Sark for these things. But, you know, there's a lot of Gold Sark targets. They're really good. That's why you play the deck. And they go really well together. That's why Kristyasworn works, because you're always working around Graveyard. And then you're running things like these and 3 Heralds, which allow you to augment your graveyard super well. Herald allows you to set up Fairies for Kristya or even Lightsworn with Shire. Also level 2 tuner, which comes up a lot. Like, you can just like whatever call this, or just like normal make a Goyo or something. It's or a Catastor. It's huge. Also, this goes into Armory Arm plays a lot. And since besides, like, this is why I prefer Kristyasworn overall in Edison, because you get just Herald's the best card in this deck. Like I said, these guys were, but frankly, like I think anyone who's played like TEARLAMENTS will tell you like how strong like Herald was. And the fact that this is just alive and well in Kristyasworn is why Kristyasworn's my favorite deck at this point. Like, I'm kind of more of a Kristyasworn player than I am a Blackwing. I haven't touched my Blackwing deck. I'm kind of just bored with that deck. So like this sets up your Kristya. Like, a lot of the times you can just like draw hands of like 2 Heralds and like 2 Fairies, and then like draw into Kristya or like Gold Sark or whatever, and like that's all you need, because if you Herald their normal, it's just like game over. So it's just I see why people run the pure build. It's technically more consistent, but that's why I run 2 souls like instead of 3. I think 3 is way too bricky. I think 2 is just fine, but like even 2, I'm just like, wow, I wish I had more of these, to be honest. So this is why you can make those, like, because you normal this and then just soul, or with like plague or something. So and then this is just like really good to like have a body on board. So like I've debated even on like siding in a 3rd or something. It's crazy. This could be the over Shire, but I think when I don't have Shire in the deck, I have too little names. Like, there are issues with Lightsworn names sometimes in this deck. So early on, at least, when you're not just like seeing your spell cards, then too honest to finish off the Fairies. This thing is crazy. Allows you to play under anything. It's just because they Imperial or whatever, Royal Prussian, but still can play over anything. And then Card Trooper Plague. This is basically Raiden without the tuner in Edison. And then Plague Spreader. Look at my ulti. I just wanted to show this off. It's just obligatory. You run it because you mill. You ran it in like bonus clip. I forgot these 2 cards in the main deck for the profile. After Card Trooper and Plague Spreader, there's Tragodia and Gores. So these cards are kind of insane in this deck. They're really good side outs too, because like your opponent a lot of times ends up, you know, playing around Gores and Tragodia, especially if they see you have a game 1 and you mill it, they'll obviously be playing around it. So like game 2 or 3, they'll be expecting it. Makes it for really easy side outs. Tragodia in this deck is just an insane card because of the fact that you can use it to level modulate, and because you're milling so much, you basically get to turn Tragodia into any level. He also is great for stealing level 8s by discarding a level 8 in your hand, like whether it be Kristya or JD, also level 6s, or even level 4, so or just really any level. Tragodia is an insane card in this deck, so you always run this, and Gores is just can really just bring back games and do a lot, but it's these cards are very cuttable, to be honest. But I did not want to forget that, and enjoy the rest of the deck profile. Thanks for watching, guys. Here's the engine. This is why you run Lightsworn. It's the best engine in Edison, I'd say, or just like, I don't know if it's engine technically. It's just like, I mean, no other deck has cards as powerful as these though in their deck, so that's why it's just like these cards are crazy. Also, look at my ultis I had to upgrade. I love this deck, so my eventual goal is to get a max rarity. At least the rarities I like. Like, I don't care if they're first ads or not, but then charge. I don't know, they're just great. When you see them, you win. You know, like, if you open those cards, you basically win unless you get bad mills. Or just misplay. Most of the time, it's just misplay. Like, this deck's not a... People who always call it sacks, like, I agree with Phaser Smith with that. It's definitely a sack deck, but, like, I love the deck so much because each game is way different. It's like TEARLAMENTS in that sense, and you have to play every game differently, and every decision tree is different in that respect, so there is a lot of skill behind the deck. Like, it's very easy to misplay. A lot of the time you have to project what your opponent is doing, like several turns ahead, just because you aren't you have to be setting up your JD Kristya while playing around your opponent. So 2 gold star, Heavy Storm, just obligatory. Some people weren't running this in their Kristyasworn. I think they're crazy. MST just isn't impactful enough. I'd rather have Lumina. I have Inside though. Rest of the traps, yeah. There's no explanation for these. You run Beckoning over Monster Reincarnation because you run Kristya and JD, so like this just allows you to do a wide just lets you set up completely, and Monster Reincarnation doesn't let you do that. And then Call to Hunt, if you just draw this card, you win. Or if you open this card going first with like a Kristya in graveyard, it's like, oh cool. That's Vanity's Emptiness. So we'll go into extra deck quick. Chimera Tech, Mistworm. I like Mistworm still. I still go into it. I still see patterns, especially with like signing Brain Control and Mind Control. Really good. Arcanite Pyrosheth for the level 8s. This card's crazy. Gives you Fairy. It's a light. It's a level 8, and it pierces. So you get to use Honest. You get to sap Kristya with it. And you get to do piercing. Then Ghost Rider Stardust Dragon. This is my newest addition to my deck. I fucking always wanted a Ghost Rider Stardust, and it's a French one. So, yeah, I love this card, and it's a great card in this deck. It gets around your Blackwing matchup. Red Dragon for quick draw in their fucking Reikos and everything. One Colossal, one Ancient Fairy Dragon. Colossal comes up with Armory Arm sometimes. But you don't run 2, so maybe I could run 2 in the future because like I have been able to do the OTK. I just don't think it's like worth it. It's not like Fish. Ancient Fairy is like the most callable card in the side deck or extra deck. I don't ever go into this card. Like there's like a 1% scenario where its normal summon over your battle phase comes up, like in the if you like really pop off turn 1 or something. But like it's not really that great, and I just prefer to go into Black Rose. Also look at the ulti. We love the ulti. Then one Piercer, level 6. One Tempest for damage, because it comes up actually a lot with the level 2s. Plus Lumina, one Brio, one Goyo. They're the best synchros in the format. And then 2 level 5s. Ally Justice just wins you a lot of matchups. And then Magical Android and Armory Arm, because you can actually make Armory Arm a lot in this deck because of Reiko. So you can usually armor like Kristya or something. Then here's the side deck. 2 Royal Decree. And you basically side this against anything that's not Monarchs or Lightsworn. And then you take out like the Beckonings or something. Or I don't even know. I typically keep in the Beckonings and just play around it because they're gonna usually just pop your Decree, so you're gonna be able to get off your Beckoning anyway. Do we only have? And I guess the other going first cards would be. I mean, it's not like these are going first cards. They're going whenever cards. 2 Consecrated Light. I want to run 3, but like, there's so many decks just like run not like. I feel like you're just running a bad deck if you, and that is if you aren't playing around Consecrated in your side deck at the very least. So, I run 2 because it's a fairy. So with Herald, this definitely buys you turns against certain decks. 2 Cyber Dragon, or even and still can win you the random Blackwing matchup, obviously. 2 Cyber Dragon, just because it's a special, and then you can normal Herald instant Black Rose, and then obviously your Machina matchup, because Machinas can just fucking wipe your shit so quick in this deck. Speaking of Machinas, Spirit Reaper and Morphing Jar. These are the texts from Silverman. Like most, actually, this whole rest of the side is basically Silverman. Well, I mean, the rest are one-ofs. I like one-of philosophy, so shout out to Steven Silverman. He's a great player, one of the best. One Spirit Reaper, one Morphing Jar. See, I was kind of like not on these cards like when I first saw him run them in his 4th place. I was like, oh, I mean, and plus a lot of my friends play Knock because I'd recommended them to Knock when I got them into Edison because I think Knock is very underrated. But when you're not playing Knock, these cards are just fucking crazy against the matchups they're good against. Like obviously not until Glads, but this card will just like win you random matchups against people that if you open this turn 1, obviously they just attack and then you discard their whole hand. You make sure you set your whole field or whatever, or just like set your field for Kristya or whatever. It's, I don't know, this could be cut. I like Spirit Reaper though. This genuinely buys you a lot of turns against certain matchups. And then the discard one's kind of crazy. One Mind Control for the Lightsworn Mirror match. I kind of want to run a Soul Exchange, but like I don't think that comes up enough, so I run Mind Control just for the Reiko, and then obviously just to tune off. Because you run a lot of tuners, so like you could frankly main deck this with BrainCon, but they're sided because I don't know, they're pretty bricky and you don't need too many bricks in this deck. Like I think going first, you can afford to play these cards in the side deck, not going first, because going first you want to win. Your engine's so good and powerful that you can usually win most game 1s. Game 2 and 3s are the hard part because that's when they board in against you and just fuck your shit with like Soul Exchange and DD Crow and just traps and stuff like that. So that's why these one-ofs come in super handy. So like you just always board these in going second, plus like the Minecon and this, and then obviously, I mean it depends on your matchup. Obviously, like these will probably just always go in, and then like if you're playing back rows decks, you can put these in and then like not put in these. And then last 2 cards: Trap Dust Shoot, Return. I want to run a Mind Crush, frankly. It's just not quite, I'm not quite confident in my ability in Mind Crushing in Edison. If I was a pro like E3 or something, or Carpath or something, I would feel like a lot more confident, but like every time I think about putting in Mind Crush against someone, I'm like, wow, what if I just call wrong? I mean, it'll still give you, so just run the Trap Dust Shoot. I think this is, like, it's the same, like, this will always be live, and then, Return is fucking insane. This is a Steven Silverman bet, I think. So, like, everyone's on Soul Exchange or whatever in DD Crow, and then, like, other things, so, Return just fucking wins you those matchups. It's like, cool, man, banish my stuff, return Kristya, return 3, like, you know, it's pretty good. That was deck. Yeah, I don't know, we love Kristya around here. I'm going to be taking this to YCS Philly alongside Blackwing and Frogs. I might just be playing this plus Frogs, though. I think I'm going to be testing those 2 decks out. Fraser Smith, once again, got me into Frogs, asked him to do a video on how to do Frogs, and he did it like a few days later, so he's awesome for that. And I really like Frogs and Kristya. I think those are 2 most fun decks for me right now. I think they're very good decks. I think they're both S tier. What I love about Edison is it's constantly developing. Like you see all these recent tournaments that have been coming out where it's just like Blackwings aren't topping a lot right now. Like, and that's not just like, it's like Blackwings are not the best deck because they're probably the most consistent deck for sure in Edison. It's just like, you know, a lot of other decks can win in Edison. That's what's, like, people who complain about Blackwings are just, they don't know what they're talking about. Like, fucking play a different deck that can win against Blackwings. It's pretty easy. A lot of people do it. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Comment below. What deck do you all play in Edison? What deck profile do you want to see next? I post a lot of duels every day. So I want to see, just request it down in the comments if you ever want to see like a deck profile on one of the decks, or anything like combo videos or anything like that, because I like did a combo video for my like TEARLAMENT deck and like no one really watched it, so I was like, but then people like want it for the Pendulum one, which is a really innovative deck, so like I see why. So yeah, I don't know, peace out guys, have a good day.